We will continue with our meeting. The next item is item number 14, which is the superintendent's report. Dr. Hefner.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. We continue to earn great honors here in the district. Just a couple of things that have occurred in the over the weekend. The Dutch Fork High School girls tennis team won the state 4A championship this weekend. So congratulations to Dutch Fork girls tennis. The Chapin High School girls tennis team was runner-up to the state 3A champion, so no small feat either. So congratulations to Chapin. And the Dutch Fork High School girls cross-country team placed second place in the state championship. So it was a great weekend for our District 5 schools. Tonight we're going to begin with our report from our Office of Finance and Operations. Mr. Richardson will give our first report.
Thank you, Dr. Hefner. I'd like to recognize Alan Grimsley, a partner with Derek Stubbs and Stiff accounting firm, to present our audit for fiscal year ended June 30, 2014.
Hope everyone's doing well. Again, I'm Alan Grimsley. I'm a partner with Derek Stubbs and Stiff, and we had the privilege this year of doing the audit for the school district. And what I would like to do is to briefly hit a few highlights of the audit. I understand y'all had received a report, and I'd certainly be happy to answer any general questions that you may have about the audit report. The district received an unmodified opinion, which is the best opinion that the district can receive. We believe the financial statements present fairly in all material respects the financial position of the school district in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles in the United States of America. Again, that is the best opinion that the district could receive. The district did adopt a new accounting principle this year. It's explained in one of the notes of the financial statements concerning previously reported assets and liabilities. Again, I just mentioned that for consistency's sake. Again, it doesn't materially impact the report, and we did not modify our opinion in accordance with that GASB. The district has received in past years certifications from the Government Accounting Finance Officers Association and school district officials. We fully expect this report to receive that same certification this year. The report is in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards and accounting standards, and also follows the school district, the South Carolina Department of Education's guidelines. As part of the audit, we reviewed the internal controls of the district, and we also tested compliance with certain federal grants that the district did receive. And we're pleased to report there were no compliance findings, and there were also no material weaknesses in internal control. The report, again, is set up in accordance with guidelines put out by the South Carolina Department of Education. And I'll hit a few highlights. As you can see, there's quite a bit of information in the report. But the general fund this year had total assets of almost $100 million, had liabilities of $65 million, and had a fund balance of a little over $32 million. A good bit of that, though, is restricted for specific purposes. But again, the fund balance was $32,164,113. The district had revenue this year in the general fund of $149,523,000. Had total expenses of $153,950,000. Had some transfers of $3,462,000 for a net decrease in the fund balance in the general fund of $964,944. Again, there's a lot in the report. Again, this follows, is very consistent with previous years. But again, we believe this report will meet the criteria for certification from the ASBO and the Governmental Accounting Associations. Now, I've gone over this report very quickly. I'd be happy to answer any general questions that anyone has about it. And I would also offer, if someone has a question later, to respond to it too, after you've had a little bit more time to study the question or the report.
Okay, are there any questions for Mr. Grimsley? Mr. Gant?
Madam Chair, I really don't have a question at this point. I know we're going to be looking at this in more depth, and I know that we just got the final, we had the draft on it, but you said some very key words that I love to hear of you, and I'm going to say this in the context of Mr. Richardson assumed this position that he's in mid-year this year. We've changed CFOs, and the words that you're repeating are the same things that we generally hear, and it's great to hear that we're getting the best opinion possible in the CPA accounting world and the government accounting finance officials. And I know there's a lot of standards that we have to meet. It's just always good to hear that the funds are being accounted for very well. The fact that we used a little less than $1 million out of our fund balance is quite a tribute to Mr. Richardson too. We had a large projection that we were going to use more than that. So I just want to take my hat off to the accounting office, Mr. Richardson's financial office, and say that it is wonderful to be in this position, and we don't have to pick up the newspapers too often to see that this isn't always the case. This is just to be expected. It is to be expected. It's a wonderful thing to happen, but I just love hearing those words, to have the best opinion possible. And Mr. Richardson, we also know that this will only get better. I know that you proposed to us, along with Dr. Bain, a new system that will greatly assist this process of gathering data for our auditors. And so, Mr. Grimsley, your job's going to get easier in the future, we hope and pray. We hope our job's going to get easier. Well, I think it's long overdue. We've had some real struggles with some areas. So I really love hearing this, and I appreciate the fact that we have no material weaknesses. And it's a great audit report. So thank you. And Mr. Richardson, thank you and your staff for this.
Any questions? Ms. Lovelace?
I don't really have a question, but I want to have a big thank you for Mr. Richardson, because I had a couple of little questions that I needed to ask, and he just took his time with me and explained to me thoroughly what my questions were. And again, I just want everybody to know how much I appreciate him. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Grimsley, is there anything, I agree with Mr. Gann. It's wonderful to hear the report. Is there anything else that, as board members, that we should be aware of, that we should know that you would recommend? I hear an excellent report, but is there anything?
Well, I mean, it's a very detailed report. I tried
Yes.
to hit some of the highlights that I thought, but I don't know of anything that is per se is more important than anything else in the report. Again, if y'all look at it and there are some questions, I'd be happy to go over those with you.
Okay. I do want to point out it was so nice to see the certificate for our CPA, Donna Patton, for her achievement. I have it marked right here. This last year. Let's see. Just to mention again that the Award of Financial Reporting Achievement by Donna Patton, our CPA, that's absolutely wonderful. As the Certificate of Excellence in 2013. And I believe I read in here 10 years in a row that our school district has received a report of excellence, a certificate of excellence. So,
And
all
we
right.
fully expect this report to also achieve that.
Okay, we like to hear that.
Yeah,
Keep on going with this record.
that's right.
If there are any questions, you certainly can ask Mr. Grimsley later on or call Mr. Richardson. I appreciate very much you coming out here and for this thorough presentation, or thorough audit. Thank you.
Again, we certainly appreciate the opportunity, and I would like to thank Lynn and his staff. They were very prepared for the audit and made it, as audits go, as smoothly as possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else, Mr. Richardson?
Get the mic to work. It's always a pleasure to answer any questions from any board members, so please don't hesitate to call me if you have questions. But I think this is just a testament to the great staff we have here in this district. And I mean, I had nothing to do with this, but Donna and her staff obviously had a whole lot to do with this. So that's where the praise belongs.
Thank you very,
Is the staff here to recognize?
yes. You want to recognize your staff?
Donna Patton, Director of Finance. Connie Frick, the accountant, and Leanne, where are you? Leanne London, right there. That is the accounting staff.
Thank you. That's a powerful trio back there.
All right, thank you. And now we'll go to 14B, which is an update on the new 7-8 middle school and 5-6 school. Over 2 years ago, we developed our plan for addressing our ever-increasing growth in the Chapin cluster with the limited resources we have. And the board approved the building of a new facility in the Chapin cluster, which is located on Broad River Road. And you'll hear more about that particular physical structure in the next report as it is coming up out of the ground. And we are excited about it as it moves toward reality. So it does change things in the Chapin cluster, and just want to review that. And I will make three major points about this particular project as we go through it. There are 3 slides, and I think the board's seen them all, so I don't think you have to move. But the first one is that the one that shows our current, the way the feeder system works within the Chapin cluster. We have students at Chapin Elementary, Lake Murray Elementary, and some of our students at Valentine Elementary are also zoned in the Chapin cluster. And they currently, all of those schools go through 5th grade, and then they feed into Chapin Middle School, which is in grades 6 through 8, and then to Chapin High for grades 9 through 12. With the addition of the new building in the Chapin cluster, this is what it will look like next year. Again, there are a few students who attend Valentine Elementary here in the Chapin cluster. Average is about 20 students per year. But basically, the Chapin school, the Chapin population is served by Chapin Elementary, which will become pre-K through 4, and Lake Murray Elementary, which will be K through 4. So both of those schools will end at 4th grade, and then the 5th and 6th graders will be in the facility that is the current Chapin Middle School facility for grades, again, for 5 and 6. And from there, they will go to grades 7 and 8 in the new building being built on Broad River Road, and then to Chapin High for grades 9 through 12. So there are 3 things I'd like to mention specifically about this plan, and you can see as we go to our final slide, and you each should have gotten a copy of this in your board packet, which shows what our overall district will look like next year. The schools in blue are the Chapin cluster, green is the Dutch Fork cluster, yellow is the Irmo cluster. And as you can see, the Center for Advanced Technical Studies serves all of our students throughout the district. And Spring Hill High School is an all-magnet school, which is an entity unto itself. So as I said, there are 3 things in particular I wish to mention this evening. The first is that we are happy that the principal of the current Chapin Middle School has agreed to move with her 7th and 8th grade students to the new building, and that's Mrs. Anna Miller. She's here this evening. Ms. Miller, if you would stand, and let's congratulate her and wish her the best. And she was, I give several awards every year. She was she was our Culture Award winner for this past year. meaning that she contributes so much to the culture of our entire school district. But one of the things that she would want all of the folks in the room to know is that she will stay at the current site throughout the balance of the year. She wishes to finish the year with her students, because these are the same students she'll have next year, and she'll be moving with them. And even though we had a slot approved for a person to work in getting the new building ready, Ms. Miller said, I would prefer to stay with my students and move when they move. So she represents the best of our organizational culture, and let's thank Mrs. Miller. And then the other two things I wish to make as recommendations and bring to you in your December meeting for a vote. After having talked with a number of people in the Chapin cluster over the past several weeks as we've discussed this plan, I think that the best way to carry this out and for people to understand what school is what and who goes where is that we name the new building Chapin Middle School. Again, it'll be 7th and 8th grades, and it will be the Chapin Middle School. And that we rename the existing building, which will now serve 5th and 6th graders, as Chapin Intermediate School. And that way, everybody has an identity, and we have the feeder system that goes through the entire Chapin cluster, with through the 4th grade at Chapin Elementary and Lake Murray Elementary and some at Ballantyne. Then 5th and 6th all would be at Chapin Intermediate. 7th and 8th would be in Chapin Middle, and 9 through 12 would be in Chapin High. So those are the recommendations I'm making there, and we'll bring those to you as official request at your December meeting. And I'd be happy to take any questions you might have about anything that I've said.
Just a point, you may have said this, but I believe what you told us, that Ms. Miller is going to stay with her students, but she's also going to take on the additional duty of seeing this through to completion. So she's really double serving us, and I really appreciate that. And I don't know that was lost on the crowd at all, but thank you so much, Ms. Miller. That's wonderful.
Very important point. And in fact, our problem with Ms. Miller is we have to sometimes hold her back. It's a privilege to have those kinds of folks leading our schools. I think Ellen may have had a question. Ellen?
Oh, Ellen, I'm sorry.
So with Ms. Miller going into our new, the new Chapin Middle School, when will we be posting for the Chapin Intermediate School about?
I think that will occur within the next month. Hopefully,
Okay.
I'll have a recommendation to you no later than January on that particular. Taking it one step at a time. Slow and steady wins the race. So, but hopefully no later than January.
Okay.
I see Dr. Bain taking notes over there.
I see the smile. I don't know if it's, is it a smile on her face or
Any other questions for Dr. Hafner?
Nope, that's it for the Chapin update. And if there are no other questions, we'll go to our Office of Design and Construction for the monthly update. And I think most of you know Joe Huggins, who works with us on many of our building projects, who's here tonight with our representing our construction management firm, along with our own Keith McAllister.
And I was going to introduce you to Joe Huggins. As all of you know, Joe actually is our program manager now for Chapin, Irmo. He was already at Dutch Fork, and he has new middle school. So, and he volunteered to come tonight because he was looking forward to doing his presentation for you. Right, Joe?
Yes, sir. I have to go quick because I have to go back to work. So. It's a pleasure to be here with you tonight, ladies and gentlemen of the board, Dr. Hefner and staff. And we're here to offer you the board a construction update. And if we may, we'll begin at Chapin High School. We are well into the renovations of the last two phases at Chapin High School, the auxiliary gym and what was the old cafeteria, now becoming new classroom space. As you can tell from the photos there, we got masonry block going up for the new walls and new door frames. Mechanical and electrical and plumbing are ongoing, fire sprinkler as well. And we anticipate to invite the Office of School Facilities for an overhead inspection the first week of December. We are probably be ready before that, but with the Thanksgiving holiday, we have to adjust schedules. But first week of December, we hope to have OSF in there for their overhead, and then hopefully during winter break or shortly thereafter for the final inspection to close those 2 renovations out and be able to turn them back over to the faculty and staff. We have punch lists going on at all the remaining areas, and we're prosecuting that and trying to wrap things up at Chapin.
Any questions about Chapin? Okay.
All right, moving on to my favorite, Irmo High School. And we are finishing the Performance Theater auditorium down there. And as a matter of fact, we have the Office of School Facilities scheduled for this coming Thursday at 9 o'clock to perform their final inspection there at Irmo for the auditorium. I anticipate little to no items with them, so I anticipate getting our beneficial occupancy shortly thereafter. So we're finishing up there. As you can see, the new plaza and the new lobby coming online there. We still have the amphitheater portion to do on the side of the building and the site work in the back as we finish out, and I anticipate those coming to completion over winter break as well.
So the
Yes,
final,
Ms. Hammond.
The final, it'll be finished, you're thinking like January?
Yes, ma'am. Final
Just fine.
out of there. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And I don't have
Mr.
a
Gatt.
question, but I got a little bit closer view than the road, and I will tell you, this community is abuzz about, a buzz would be a little bit of a pun, I guess, but they're very, very excited about this piece of Irmo High School going in. And I think it's absolutely, it's outstanding. It's the only way I can describe it, and I think the community's going to really embrace it. So I don't know how you balance your 4 jobs and your 4 hats, but you're doing a great job at all 4 of them. I can't believe you picked a favorite, but you picked a really good favorite to do that
Well,
with.
that was my first one, and I got to stick with that one.
Well, I think it's going to be something this community is going to enjoy for a long time, and the first time they go in and come out, I think they're going to be in awe. I really do.
Well, as I told you Thursday, Mr. Gant, this is about the 4th iteration we've built of this auditorium. It's the best one we've built so far, and with what's going in there and what the district will have, it'll be probably one of the best statewide when we're finished. So it'll be something to be proud of.
Ms. Hammond?
And I know we were told this when you started, but what'll be the capacity, of the auditorium? Like if we had an event?
Just over 600,
That's good, yeah.
603, 608, something.
And really, I envision it being in such a great location where it is, it maybe can be used for many things that have to do with the district, and have something on this end. I'm excited about that.
Ms. Baumgartner?
I just want to tell you that I'm actually going to see it tomorrow. I can't wait. Seeing the pictures, and again, I've heard people from the community are very excited about what's going on, and this is something I'm very proud of to be a part of, and thank you.
Yes, ma'am. We can't wait to have you.
Okay. Next.
Okay, moving on to the new middle school. Taking this project over, I was very excited to be going up there with good friends of mine, and that'd be Quackenbush and Eddie Edwards at EdCon. And I'm very pleased with the team that we have up there from top to bottom. And as you can tell from the photographs, we are coming out of the ground, and actually what we have up there in reality looks better than the pictures we have up there. We have really made strides up there. And to be honest with you, the good Lord blessed us with a lot of rain in August, and we were coming out of the ground with foundations, and water and foundations are not a good mix, but we got behind. But I'm pleased to tell you tonight that we have caught back up, and we are back on schedule, and we've got a good flow at the new middle school. So I don't anticipate any problems up there. We've got major steel erection going on with the trusses and joists going in the gym area up there. You can see in the cafeteria area that we already have decking on up there, and I anticipate, hopefully shortly after the Thanksgiving holiday, that we'll start roofing and start the process of drying the building in. So we're placing that second level deck slab first thing in the morning. So we're getting on that, and you can see that the mechanical and electrical and plumbing are following right along the mason. And matter of fact, they're not following, they're doing it right as he goes. So we're in good shape with that as well. So.
Any questions? Okay, great job. We're very excited, and looking at Irmo High School, the auditorium last week was just a thrill. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Good night.
Good night.
And that concludes the superintendent's report.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hefner. Next on our agenda is public participation, and